Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to try to explain why the Heroes 2.0 update is so important and what it means for the game. Before we start, the thing that needs to be understood is that Heroes 2.0 does not equal Progression 2.0. There's tons more stuff to come, and I've linked a timeline of all of that in the video description, so you can check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Nevertheless, Progression 2.0 is huge, and it's huge, yeah. So first off, let's talk about where we've come from. So the game has never had a solid platform. It's always been kind of janky. Obviously, the first issue is monetization. Heroes has always been very expensive. It was priced at a premium, which is a Blizzard trademark, kind of. Everything they do, there's a definite markup from what most game developers would offer. And the reason for that is, of course, the quality and the amount of work that goes into it. And the business model has worked out for them a lot in the past and also in other games. But in Heroes, that always caused a lot of issues because Blizzard usually came to a market that was underdeveloped and launched the best game that Zonyo had ever seen, and everyone just dived at it. But with Heroes, they came to a very well-established market, and Heroes was not the best thing that everyone has ever seen. So that premium pricing didn't work, and it caused a lot of issues for the game. Another one is just the lack of visual flair and just showboating. Very little customization. There wasn't really much you could do in the game. And the big one is that Heroes of the Storm never really felt like its name. It didn't feel like you were playing the actual heroes. That's what was always missing from the game, I think. When you got to play as Tassadar, it didn't feel like Tassadar. When you got to play as Zeratul, it didn't feel like Zeratul. The game just completely fell short on those levels. And not necessarily because of the hero design. Obviously, in Tassadar's case, it was, but Zeratul is a very well-designed hero and very fun, but it doesn't feel like Zeratul. So how does Heroes 2.0 and Progression 2.0 fix that? So the prices for Heroes haven't changed at all. They are still locked exactly where they were before, but gold generation has gone through the roof. I don't know the exact numbers, but every so often, when you level up your hero level, you get gold or gems or some other currency. When you're leveling up the heroes themselves, those are giving you gold and currency and all that stuff as well. So gold generation went through the roof. They also added loot boxes. Loot boxes, they can give you heroes, they can give you skins. And just that instantly you were getting way more for the same amount of money and time that you invested. If you invested the same amount of money and time last patch, and then you did it again in Progression 2.0, you would get so much more from Progression 2.0. So again, huge step towards fixing the monetization issues there. And loot boxes specific to heroes is something that is kind of flown under the radar a bit. That's super cool as well. If you only play one hero, you're not going to get forced to kind of miss out. Like, you just level them up and they give you specific those hero loot boxes. So that's super cool as well. So banners, sprays, voice lines. There's some really cool things as well. And they're all showboating. Heroes like Li Ming are so popular and always have been so popular because when you do something big, when you do something hype and insane and you made the big play, everybody sees it. And everybody looks at that and goes, wow, I wish that was me. I wish I was the one doing that. With all of these items, like banners, like when you're the one taking the fort, when you're the one taking the boss, when you're the one taking the mercenaries, when you're the one taking the objective, when you get a 1v1 kill, when you're about to get a 1v1 kill, when you carry a team fight, you can use all of these tools. And they make it so much more clear and they make it feel so much better to actually make these plays and be doing things in the game Because you can point to that here, that's me. That's me right there. So again, that brings that visual flair, that customization, that showboating that we were missing into the game. And the big one, right? Heroes feels it has lived up to his name, finally. Playing Heroes of the Storm feels like you're playing Heroes of the Storm. So I will swap to game to show you what I mean here. So here we are with Artanis, right? So let's check out our loadout. So our skin, we've got Dalam Artanis. I've never been that big a fan of Artanis, right? Until Legacy of the Void. Didn't really like him in Wings or Hearts, to be honest. Obviously, he didn't exist back in StarCraft. He was the character you were playing back then. So I never really connected with him too much. But after Legacy of the Void, like the journey that we went through with him, I got super connected to the character, right? So playing Artanis in Heroes of the Storm, really, there was no connection. It felt like we were playing StarCraft 1 again. We're just playing a Protoss Zealot. Now that we've got this loadout system, this feels like I'm playing Artanis. And I'm really, I haven't got a chance to play a game with him yet, but I'm really excited to actually just hop in and play Artanis because it feels like I'm playing that character. The character from StarCraft, the legendary Hierarch. So this is a huge deal of the new skin system, is that you don't need to make a premium skin. You don't need to launch it. You don't need to push it out, put it on the website, all this stuff. Because now you can just quietly slip it into the game. Players can get in their loot boxes. They can get it with their shards. And you don't need to mess around with all those real money issues that it brings about. This is Artanis from Legacy of the Void. So spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it. Obviously you can see on his right arm here, he's got Zeratil's Bracer. After Zeratil fell, saving Artanis. You can see the callus cut off, and he's covered in this beautiful Zerg blood and Zerg creep. And to me, it's a very small change, but it changes so much about the way it feels. On the mount, you can see we've got the Void Speeder here, Zeratil's Void Speeder. Our flag. We can see here we've got the Protoss War Banner that I bought because I felt like I needed it. I've got we've got the Protoss logo spray here, so I can go around, I can represent the Protoss. Tassadar voice pack for the announcer.
Let the battle begin.
And finally, the voice line.
For the glory of the Dalam.
This goes so far, and Super Smash Brothers, right? That was a hugely popular game. Casually, it's also had a revival as an esport. It's a solid game, and people love it because you play Nintendo characters. You get to play Blizzard characters, which are so much cooler, and it's going to feel like you're playing them, and that's just huge. So, I think the point I'm trying to drive home here is that this base is everything that the game has needed for so long to become Heroes of the Storm. What always was supposed to be, but never was. It always missed the mark. So, we're going to get voice chat. We're going to get gameplay improvements. We're going to get better ranked systems. That's all coming. And the most important thing of all, thanks to these changes and also those in the future, we're going to get that huge player base. So as I said at the beginning, Progression 2.0 is only the start, and I cannot express how much I'm looking forward to this new era of Alan Dabiri's Heroes of the Storm. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more content like this. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @BakeryHeroes, or of course on heroeshearth.com. I will see you guys in the new and improved Nexus.